Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopijana Vallabha Giribharadhari. Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Giribharadhari. Jashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Jashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Jamuna Tira Banachari. Jamuna Tira Banachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopijana Vallabha Giribharadhari. Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Giribharadhari. Jashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Jashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Jamuna Tira Banachari. Jamuna Tira Banachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajagacharya Ashtotara Shata Srimad. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajagacharya Ashtotara Shata Srimad. His Divine Grace Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki. ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki. Nitai Gaura Premanandi. Oh, glories to the assembled devotees. Oh, glories to the assembled devotees. Oh, glories to the assembled devotees. Oh, glories to Shishi Guru and Shigoranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, entitled Liberation, Chapter 9, The Dynasty of Amsuman. Text number 6. Sri Bhagiratha Uvacha Sadavo Nyashina Shanta Brahmishta Lokapavanaha Haram Tyagam Tenga Sangat Tishwaste Hiyagabhidhari Shadavo Nyashina Shanta Brahmishta Lokapavanaha Harantyagam Tenga Sangat Tishwaste Hyagabhidharihi Sadavo Nyashina Shanta Brahmishta Lokapavanaha Haryantyaghantenga Sangat Tishwaste Hyagabhidharihi. Please chant. Lokapavanaha Harantyagantenga Sangad Tishwaste Hyagabhidharihi. Shri Bhagiratha Uvacha Shadavo Nyashina Shanta Brahmishta Lokapavanaha Haryantyagante Anga Sangat Tishwaste Hyagabhidharihi. Sri Bhagiratha Uvacha. Bhagirath said, Shadavaha, saintly persons, Nyashinaha, sannyasis, Shanta, where are we here? Shantaha, peaceful, free from material disturbances. Brahmishtaha, expert in following the regulated principles of Vedic scriptures. Lokapavanaha, who are engaged in delivering the entire world. from a fallen condition. Haranti shall remove agham, the reactions of sinful life. Te, of you, Mother Ganges. Angashangat, by bathing in the Ganges water. Teshu, within themselves. Ashte, there is. He, indeed. Aghabhit, the Supreme Personality, who can vanquish all sinful activities. Harihi, the Lord. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Bhagirath said, those who are saintly because of devotional service and are therefore in the renounced order, free from material desires, and who are pure devotees, expert in following the regulated principles mentioned in the Vedas, are always glorious and pure in behavior, and are able to deliver all fallen souls. When such pure devotees bathe in your water, the sinful reactions accumulated from other people will certainly be counteracted. For such devotees always keep in the core of their hearts the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who can vanquish all sinful reactions. Purport. Mother Ganges is available to everyone for bathing. Therefore, not only will sinful persons bathe in the Ganges water, but in Hardwar and other holy places where the Ganges flow. Saintly persons and devotees will also bathe in the water of the Ganges. Devotees and saintly persons advance in the renounced order can deliver even the Ganges. Tirtha kurvanti, tirthani shanta, stena gadabrita. Bhagavatam 1:13-10. Because saintly devotees always keep the Lord within the court of their hearts, they can perfectly cleanse the holy places of all sinful reactions. Therefore, people in general must always respectfully honor saintly persons. It is ordered that as soon as one sees a Vaishnava or even a sannyasi, one should immediately offer respect to such a holy man. If one forgets to show respect in this way, one must observe a fast for that day. This is a Vedic injunction. One must be extremely careful to refrain from committing offenses at the lotus feet of a devotee or a saintly person. There are methods of prayashchitta or atonement, but they are inadequate to cleanse one of sinful reactions. One can be cleansed of sinful reactions only by devotional service, as stated in regard to the story of Ajamil. Kechit kavalaya bhaktya vasudeva parajanaha agham dumbanti karsnyena niharam iva bashkaraha. Quote, only a rare person who has adopted complete, unalloyed devotional service to Krishna can uproot the weeds of sinful actions with no possibilities that they will revive. He can do this simply by discharging devotional service, just as the sun can immediately dissipate fog by its rays. Bhagavatam 6.1.15. If one is under the protection of a devotee and sincerely renders service unto him, by this process of bhakti yoga, one is certainly able to counteract all sinful reactions. Sri Bhagirata Uvacha Shadabo Nyashina Shanta Brahmishta Loka Pavanaha Harantya Gantenga Shangat Teshwaste Hyagabi Dhari. Bhagirath said, those who are saintly because of devotional service and are therefore in the renounced order, free from material desires, and who are pure devotees, expert in following the regulated principles mentioned in the Vedas, are always glorious and pure in behavior, and are able to deliver all fallen souls. When such pure devotees bathe in your water, the sinful reactions accumulated from other people will certainly be counteracted. For such devotees always keep in the court of their hearts the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who can vanquish all sinful reactions. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Ummilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishnapasaya Bhutale Srimate Ramapaswami. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishnapasaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirveshesha Shunyavadi Pashatyade Chatarine. Vanchakalpa Tarubhyasha Kripa Sindhu Vyaivacha Patitanam Pavanevyo Vaishnavevyo Namo Namaha. So, King Bhagirata is answer the concerns of Mother Ganga, who accepted to give the benediction of descending into this world, into the material, into this earthly region, and being able to free or liberate the 60 sons of Maharaj Sagar, 60,000 sons of Maharaj Sagar, who were the forefathers of Maharaj Bhagirath. But she have a condition. The condition was that someone should be able to withhold the force of her descent, because it was not someone who was able to withhold that force. She was going to pierce through the earth and just cut through, and then go all the way to the all the way to the last, the deepest of the planetary system, the Patala Loka. So the first one was that if I'm going to descend, if you don't have someone to properly contain this force, then it's not going to do it. And the next one was a personal concern. Mother Ganga said that she will, by doing that, by having her pure waters in the earth, then sinful people will come and bathe and deposit their sins in the waters of the Ganges. And then one can imagine the accumulated sinful of all the people that goes there to deposit that at one point she understood that I won't be able to, how I'm going to get purified of this. So Maharaj Bhagirath is answer the question of the concern of how she's going to be purified. The first, the one who's going to contain the force of the Ganges descent is Lord Shiva. And so we're going to hear how Maharaj Bhagirath prayed to Lord Shiva to perform this task of of withholding the force of the descents of Mother Ganga. And then Kim Bhagirath explains that the presence of the pure devotees will purify her of the accumulated sinful reactions of the sinful people that comes to bathe in her waters. And he explains why, the pure devotees will be able to free her. And it's because within the pure devotee's heart, the Lord's reside. And the Lord's is the supreme, the supreme pure. Arjuna, in the Bhagavad Gita, he praised the Lord as Param Dhamma Param Bhavan Pavitram. Pavitram idan uttaman. Pavitram means you're the purest, the greatest purifier. So the Lord can vanquish all sinful reactions just by His presence. And Prabhupada quote also the famous verse that Maharaj Yudhisthira, also when Vidura, Mahatma Vidura, came back to Hastinapuri after the battlefield of Kurukshetra, after many years of pilgrimage, then when he came back, Maharaj Yudhisthira offered these beautiful prayers to Vidura. He says that Prabhupada quotes, Tirtha Bhuta Swajam Vibhut Tirtha Kurbanti Tirthani. Tirtha Kurbanti Tirthani. That he said, my Lord, devotees like your good self are verily holy places personified, because you carry the personality of God within your heart. You turn all places into places of pilgrimage. So, the places of pilgrimage are places of pastimes of the Lord. And they're meant for purifying the conditioned souls. We hear that's one of the five principles that can actually revive bhakti, to be in a holy place, to reside in a holy place. And however, what makes the holy places, what is the main feature of the purifying feature of the holy places, besides of being a place of pastimes of the Lord, is that one receives the associations of the saintly devotees. Because the saintly devotees, they reside in these holy places. It's just, and therefore, the recommendation is that one have to be very careful to when one goes to a holy place, to search for the association of the holy devotees, or the pure devotees, or the devotees that reside at the Vaishnavas. And if one does not do that, according to Lord Brahma, one's intelligence is not greater than that of a cow. That in general, the cows they have limited intelligence, according to Lord Brahma, and as useless, as foolish as an ass. So Lord Brahma said this Actually, no, I'm sorry, it was not Lord Brahma. These prayers were, this is different type of prayers. I can't remember who gave that prayers, but famous. Prabhupada quotes it a lot. Yasyatma buddhi kunapetri datuke swadi kalatradishu bhauma ijyati yatirta buddhi salilena karhishit yagyeshu avigyeshu shaeva gokara. Gokara means a cow, go. Kara means an ass. So anyone who does these three different things is recognized as, in the same level of a cow or an ass. Yashyatma buddhi kunapetri datuke. One considers the self, the body, the self to be this material body that consists of three dhatus, or three elements: mucus, bile, and air. And then swadhi kalatradishu bhauma ijyadi. The next one. One considers that family and the social group that one belongs is ours, and that the land of birth is worshipable. When one recognizes oneself in a particular place. And then this one, Yatirtha Buddhi Shalirena Karhichit, then one goes to the holy places simply to take bath, or simply to purify, to become purified from your impious activities, for atonement or for some piety, but not for the purpose of associating with the saintly devotees. So, if one do this type of thing, such a person is not better than a cow and an ass, or an ass. So, why people go to the holy places, and specifically here, in these verses refer to the Ganges, to bathe in the Ganges, in the holy waters of the Ganges, is to become free from sinful reactions. And so these are activities that are recommended in the Karma Kanda section of the Vedas. They're called prayaschitta, or atonement. And this is a common practice that we have in religions too, because we see the Catholic Church, people go and confess their sins, and then they're given something to do. So you sing these prayers, however Mary's and this and that, and so you do some sort of atonement, and then you'll be free from the sinful from the reactions of that sin. So this method of prayaschitta is recommended. It's recommended for the purification. So people go to the holy places for that. People comes to the temple also for the same purpose, for the purpose of piety, for having a good reaction, also for sometimes as a method of purification, to have, to become free from any dangers of reactions, sinful reactions. But if we do that and we're not aware, we basically neglect or offend the devotees that resides in the holy places, then that is a very, very big mistake. And this was highlighted, Prabhupada also quoted from the story of Ajamil. And in the story of Ajamil, this is very, very, very highlighted. Because the story of Ajamil is in the beginning of the 6th canto. The first chapter of the 6th canto. Maharaj Parikshit starts that canto. Is right after the 5th canto that describes the hellish planets. And Maharaj Parikshit, after hearing the horrors of the situation that people, that living entities have to go through in the hellish regions, the amount of suffering, like extreme suffering, that they have to go through as a result of their sinful activities. Then Maharaj Parikshit asks, the question to Sukadev Goswami, that he have heard from Sukadev Goswami how there is these two paths. Through the 6 cantos, starting in the 2nd canto, when Sukadev Goswami started to answer the question of Maharaj Parikshit, he described the 2 different paths, the path of Nivriti Marg and the path of Pavriti Marg. The path of Pavriti Marg is the path of Nivriti Marg is looking not at the immediate thing, but looking at the long term. So the path of Nivriti Marg is the path of renunciation, that you renounce this world. And the path of Pavriti Marg is the path that one takes a gradual, following the instructions of the Vedas, and gradually try to elevate oneself. In the path of Pavriti Marg, it becomes apparent that there's a lot of danger, there's a lot of possibilities of falling down, because one has to follow very, very carefully all the injunctions of the Vedas. But because one is dealing with material desires, when one's indulged in with the material world, and there is the fruitive intention, then because there is fruitive intention, then there is this actions and reactions that takes place. So there's a lot of possibilities that one can fall down, that one can make mistakes. So when one makes mistakes, there is this process of prayaschita that allows one to atone for those mistakes. However, there's a lot of possibilities to fall down. The fact that the description of these hellish planets is there. So Maharaj Parikshit asks the question, how can the people of the world become free, or he say, "Oh, greatly fortunate and opulent Sukadev Goswami, now kindly tell me how human beings may be saved from having to enter hellish conditions in which they suffer terrible pains." So how can people become free from this terrible situation and danger that is just inbuilt, is common? And Sukadev Goswami then tests the intelligence of Maharaj Parikshit. The first thing that he said was just this: they have to carefully follow this process of prayaschita, this process of atonement, according to the books of of the Manu Sanhita and the Dharma Shastra. So he explained that, just like when someone is sick, an expert physician will give a particular type of food, and then people can become free from the disease. But Maharaj Parikshit didn't accept that. He said that one may do all this process of atonement, and either by understanding, just seeing how all the criminals get punished, or by seeing how criminals also get rejected by society, or simply by understanding by the scriptures that one is going to suffer in hell for these things, for criminal acts. So one may follow this process of atonement and become free from the reaction of that sinful act. However, he noticed that still the tendency to commit the sinful acts doesn't become vanquished, remains still there. That, one is even forced to act in that way, even knowing that, it brings, a terrible reaction. You may end in a hellish situation with great suffering. Maharaj Parikshit then gives the famous analogy of the bathing of the elephant. What is the use of the bathing of the elephant? The elephant bathes himself thoroughly, but as soon as it comes out, he throws dirt over his own self. So one becomes again and again victimized by this sinful tendency. The process of prayaschita or atonement doesn't remove the tendency to sin from the heart. So, bathing in the Ganges, yes, it frees you for those reactions, but that tendency doesn't go away. Coming to the temple it brings all auspiciousness for the devotee, but that not necessarily will remove that tendency, the tendency for fruitive desires and the reactions that brings doesn't remove it. So Sukadev Goswami, he confirms what Maharaj Parikshit said. So he said that because this prayaschita is also fruitive, you're basically doing an action for having a particular, a particular result. I'm going to bathe so I can be free. I'm going to bring this offering so I can have this piety, this thing. So there is a fruitive mentality when you do these pious actions or these atonements. So because there's a fruitive mentality, then doesn't eliminate the fruitive tendency. And so how can that happen? Then Sukadev Goswami said, then you must cultivate perfect knowledge from the Vedas. So now the first answer of Sukadev Goswami was Karma Kanda. You follow this karma kanda, process of atonement. But now he agrees with Maharaj Pariksit and say, but actually Jnana Kanda. Jnana Kanda, by cultivating knowledge, then you can become free from its propensity. But Maharaj Pariksit also didn't fully feel, his heart was not satisfied, because the Jnanis, they may become free from material conception, but they can fall down too, again into the material world. And then once you fall down into the material world, there's always the dangers that you keep falling down. And, you know, quoting the verse, not Maharaj Pariksit, but Prabhupada confirms that by quoting the famous prayer of Lord Brahma, Yeniera Vindaksha Vimukta Maninas Tvajiyas Tababa Avishuddha Buddhaya Aruhyo Krichena Padam Padantata Padanti Adon Nadrita Jusman Angrayaha. That the Jnanis, they think themselves to be perfectly liberated, but their intelligence is still polluted because they haven't fully taken shelter of acknowledge the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead. They soon fall down. Very soon they fall down from that position. So the Jnanis can also fall down. So then there is this verse that Prabhupada quote. Then Maharaj Sukadev Goswami then said that actually, yes, only devotional service is the one practice who will be able to fully eliminate the propensity to sin. So this only a rare person who have adopted complete unalloyed devotional service to Krishna can uproot the weeds of sinful actions with no possibilities that they will revive. He can do this simply by discharging devotional service, just as the sun can immediately dissipate fog by its rays. So this is the proper process. So therefore, how we receive devotional service, yesterday we heard. Hare Krishna. Please be, after the class, then you can speak. Thank you. Then, just by how yesterday we heard that how we receive devotional service, we receive devotional service by association with the devotees. So it's very important to, when you come to the temple, to actually be very respectful to the devotees. One should be very attentive to hear from the devotees, to hear the messages that what would revive our devotional service. Anyway, I stop here. Any comments or questions? There's a microphone there if you need.
I heard this last point of like Jnanis and the karma kanda. I heard this point in Nectar of Devotion, there's like I'm not sure if you've seen the picture of like first the seed, and then the seed of sinful activity, then the sinful activity, then the sinful reaction. And Gokulananda Prabhu said nicely, like shared a nice point that like the karma kanda can take away like the sinful reaction, and then jnana can take away like the tendency to sin, or it takes away maybe not the tendency to sin, but the sinful activity, like because you know better, so you're not going to sin because you have the knowledge, but still you have the tendency to fall down.
Right.
But bhakti is the only thing that uproots the tendency of the seed, because in the root of all the sin is ignorance, avidya, and bhakti is the only thing that takes away the ignorance. So just sharing what I remember from that.
Yeah, and it's quite something that it's also a symptom of kanishta that ones don't see. That's why, in the neophyte stage, we still don't experience, the full bliss of devotional service. We're still, dealing with mixed stuff, material and spiritual. Because in the Kanishta platform, we also don't see much the devotees. We have a little bit of a tunnel vision, We're still fruitive. We're still looking at results. If I do this, I should get this. And this fruitive mentality it blinds you. It's amazing how it works. Even really nice, sweet persons, when you have a fruitive, thing, almost the common sense start to, it doesn't manifest fully. Common respect you don't see it because you just have a particular purpose. What is the purpose when you come to a holy place? You take darshan of the deities, you make an offering, you receive the, and then you take prasadam and you go. Or you come to the, bathing ghat in the holy place, you take bath, you come out, it's all, you lose that type of thing. It applies also to us. Sometimes we have the purpose in mind. I have to achieve this, or I have to, even my personal purification. And then we start to don't see around, or becomes less conscious of our surrounding and other devotees. And then, and even the deities, and the whole thing. So that's when we commit some offenses. And the offenses is what slow down the process of purification. So what is the atonement that we made? So we daily performing, as in the process of purification, sadhana bhakti, there is also the practices that allow us to purify our mistakes. So, by circumambulating Tulsi Maharani, by offering daily obeisances to the devotees, Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha, by chanting of the holy name, and by the performance of devotional service, by listening to the Bhagavatam, by worshiping the deities, we're becoming, purified from all these things. So now, as the purification process goes, we become more conscious, Krishna conscious. But it's quite something when you have a fruitive mentality, even, you know, pious, even if it's piety, you know, you just don't see. You don't see. So the Bhagavatam, they use the very harsh words. You're not better than a cow and an ass, which is very harsh, but it's their words, you know. And the comparison is that, you know, you're losing the opportunity, the real opportunity, because this process of atonement, in one sense, is a waste of time. Like there's also a famous verse that says, this is Lord Brahma also. My dear Lord, devotional service unto you is the best path for self-realization. If someone gives up the path and engages in the cultivation of a speculative knowledge, he will simply undergo a troublesome process and will not achieve his desired result. As a person who beats an empty husk of wheat cannot get grain, one who simply speculates cannot achieve self-realization. His only gain is trouble. So really, any other process is just wasting your energy and time. The only result will be trouble, suffering. So that's the thing, you know. Any other comment or questions? Okay, thank you so much. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.